3 medium wave.
Online,
On your mobile.
on the app.
And on your smart speaker. Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
With Lookers. Here, wherever and whenever you need us. Visit us in-store or online at lookers.co.uk.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Talk Sport. The sun is shining here in London town. I hope it's nice where you are. Coming up, we've got lots to get into for the women's Lionesses. We'll talk about England some more, and we're going to talk about the darts too. Time now at 12 o'clock on the dot. All of your sports news. Here's Steve Forbes.
Good afternoon. It's understood Chelsea's players are fuming with Enzo Fernandez after he posted a video online condemned as being racist. The midfielders apologised for appearing to mock the African descendancy of France's players. Chelsea have released a statement saying the club deems all form of discriminatory behaviour completely unacceptable. They've also started an internal disciplinary procedure. Lucy Bronze says she's really excited to be back in England with her move to Chelsea confirmed following her Barcelona exit. Lenny Yoro is set to become the fifth most expensive teenager in history as a move to Manchester United edges closer. He's flying in from Lille after the French side accepted an offer of £52 million. Our chief football correspondent Alex Crooks says there's been an interesting turn of events in United's pursuit.
A week or so ago, I was told he was more likely to join Real Madrid than Manchester United. That was his preference. I think United has seen an opportunity here because Real Madrid are planning on making an offer for Euro next summer. United have already had a bid accepted by Lille, so they're now trying to convince the player.
Meanwhile, in Parliament,
a bill will be introduced to establish an independent football regulator to ensure greater sustainability in the game and strengthen protections for fans.
the King's speech has confirmed the football governance bill will go ahead. And Ben Stokes says his players have been desperate to get advice from Jimmy Anderson after England's all-time wicket-taker moved into a coaching role.
Obviously before that it's been a bit different because Jimmy's been preparing and has done, but now obviously he's standing there and you can just see the lads were just like just drawn towards him and wanted to pick his brains about what he thinks, how he holds certain deliveries.
The second test against the West Indies gets underway at Trent Bridge tomorrow.
Talk Sport News.
As we heard, the King has officially opened the new session of Parliament. During his speech, he announced more than 35 bills, which include getting Britain building and enhancing employment rights. Sinead has a full news roundup in half an hour.
Talk Sport weather with Quick Fit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. Quick Fit. Drive away happy every time.
Mostly dry with sunny spells, feeling warmer too.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Shebahn, Aherne and Scott Minto.
On Talk Sport.
And this is where, ultimately, their fate will be decided. Will it be automatic qualification to Euro 2025, or will it be the lottery of the autumn playoffs for England? St Williamson quickly with a good forward pass to find Stanway. Stanway 25 yards out, left of centre. Stanway goes for goal, right-footed, and nearly catches out the goalkeeper. Angledal's ball in, and Ritting Cannerid coming into the back post. Only needed a touch to turn it beyond Hannah Hampton. What a ball in from Philippa Angledal. And at this stage, England seem to have no appetite but to try and defend the 0-0 scoreline. As Angledal shoots from range, and Hampton has spilled it, and it's cleared away by Bronze. She backpedaled and just about got her hands in the way of it and kept England on the road to Euro 2025. The Lionesses are heading to Euro 2025, and now they have the goal of retaining their crown next summer very much in their sight. Sweden 0, England 0, and they will be on the plane to Switzerland next July.
Congratulations once again to the Lionesses. Yep, finishing second in their group with 11 points. That draw last night means they automatically qualify for Euro 2025 in Switzerland. Looking to defend that title again. Scott, that's pressure, isn't it? That's pressure on the Lionesses.
Absolutely. And it's not quite happened for them, is it, in terms of the form they've been in since then. So it's really important to make sure they got that draw. Tough group.
Tough group.
With France and Sweden.
France, Sweden, but can also just take a minute for the Republic of Ireland last night, who got 3 points, beating France 3-1. My sister played in the game, so brilliant stuff for the Republic of Ireland. They'll take the 3 points and they still get a playoff too.
How was their Achilles?
Killing her.
Is it?
Absolutely killing her. But there we go.
Congratulations.
Yes, no, it's a big win for them, especially beating the French. They're outstanding. They, by the way, topped the group, so they did play a kind of B team last night.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The record books show.
Exactly that. Joining us now, Talk Sports reporter Charlotte Richardson, who was watching the game for us last night. Good afternoon, Charlotte. How are you?
Good afternoon, guys. I'm very well, thanks. How are you both?
Very good, Charlotte. Up the addicts.
Why did I have a feeling that
got to mention them?
one of you would say that as soon as you said hi to each other? Charlotte, this is a big moment for England, isn't it? Just I had no doubt that they would qualify anyway, but they got the job done.
They did, and there's been so much talk about England teams getting things over the line, and that is exactly what the Lionesses did. You heard in commentary there from Joe, a really positive start against Sweden, but second half, boy, did it get nervy, and England had to be dogged, they had to be resilient, and they had to show togetherness, the togetherness that champions often show, so that they managed to get over the line. Had they scored a goal, they would have actually topped the group, because Ireland did us a favour. I'm so glad you mentioned that result. A brilliant result for Ireland. But for Sarina Weigman now, it really is about the year of preparation, working with this squad where she's got her reliables, she's got her experienced players, but those younger stars coming through the ranks as well, who she's used these qualifiers to bleed in to get experience. So job done. Sarina said to me afterwards she was looking forward to a holiday, but then getting straight back to it to defending the European title.
Charlotte, I mentioned about it being a tough group with France and Sweden, and then both of them made the semi-finals, I think, last time out. How important was it for Sarina to make sure they do qualify? You talked about that she wanted, or she needs this next year and 12 months to really work on the team. How important was it that it didn't go into the playoffs?
Really important, because now Sarina can choose the games, the friendlies she wants to play. She can prepare the camps accordingly. It was really, really pivotal. And she used the word relief in her post-match, because anyone that's kind of followed the Lionesses over the last few years, what's got them to the final of the World Cup, what got them that European title, was the meticulous preparation. Sarina and her coaching staff like to have as much time as possible on the grass with the players, working on those patterns of play, working on those units, which are still pretty solid for the England Lionesses. But you mentioned, Scott, the form since winning the Euros, since that defeat against Spain. In the attacking third, it hasn't been quite so fluid, and Sarina has identified that's a big area that she wants to work on over the next year, and she can do that now without having to worry about the lottery of qualifying and taking on more competitive games. So really, really big. It was the group of death, like you say. What are the chances of 3 of the semi-finalists all being in one group? So yeah, a really competent professional qualification from the Lionesses.
Yep, and she told you last night, Charlotte, that she was feeling delighted for qualifying and getting the job done.
To be honest, I'm very happy, because it was a tough game, a tough group, where we really had to push ourselves. And I think, if you see at the end of the game, of course, they tried to force a goal, and we tried to prevent that. And we had to work really hard for that. Yeah, I'm very happy, relieved. Now we can start preparing for the Euros. And yes, we have some big steps to take.
Can I get your thoughts on this 90 minutes? What did you like? What did you not like so much about the performance today?
I liked the first half. I liked the way we played. I thought really well, very tight on the ball, very connected, and we let them run. They couldn't get hold on us. But yeah, then in these moments you need to harm them. You need to score a goal, or maybe 2. What I didn't like, but of course the second half they want to force a goal, so more and more people are pressing earlier. And what I would like to see then, that we play out of the press better, that we keep the ball better, and we're not just defending and working hard and fight. That's the behaviours we absolutely want, but we want to keep more possession too.
Sarina Weigman there, she's made some tough decisions, and she's had to get the squad back together from winning the Euros in 2022, but also she is missing some big players and big characters as well, Charlotte, like Jill Scott, like Ellen White, who have retired. Of course, Rachel Daly is now retired from international duty as well, so it's kind of a bit of a transition period too.
Yeah, absolutely. Champions evolve, don't they? And you've mentioned there some names that have really helped the England Lionesses evolve to become champions of Europe. And now there almost is this sort of new generation of talented young players, the like of Aggie Beever-Jones, Hannah Hampton, Jessica Naz, who I think will in the next year develop even further in the Women's Super League and be banging on the door of Sarina Weigman in Switzerland next summer. I think it's really important to highlight the role that Alessia Russo's played. I think if we think back to a year ago, so much was written about the role that she was playing within the England team. Could she take over that number 9 position from Ellen White? And she's been absolutely phenomenal. Her work rate from the front just sets an example, yet she still has that cool, calm composure in front of goal. I think it's 8 goals in 9 qualifying matches for the Lionesses. She's so reliable, but she needs more support. She needs more goals around her if England are to progress. I also spoke to Georgia Stanway after last night's game as well, and she made the point that this qualifying group could actually be harder than the group games that they're going to face next year, but they're not resting on their laurels. There's a real togetherness and focus that they want to keep breaking boundaries and picking up European titles and pushing themselves as a squad.
And Shana, you know, we've been talking about obviously the men's side and some players maybe Gareth has been extremely loyal to. I mean, to be fair to Sarina, she's quite ruthless in her change, isn't she? Especially in goal.
Absolutely. She's always shown that, Sarina Weigman, in her tactical in-game changes. I think we saw in the World Cup final, didn't we? Wasn't afraid to make changes at halftime, bold changes. And there were 3 made to the starting 11 yesterday, but the most eye-catching decision was actually to keep Hannah Hampton in goal. There was a lot of discourse ahead of kickoff as to whether Mary Earps was returned back in goal. I don't need to tell you both about how much she has contributed to this England Lionesses team, but arguably Hannah Hampton is the player in form. Hampton offers something a little bit different. Any of her coaches that you speak to say she's so good with both feet, she could be an outfield player, and her distribution gives England another outlet when they want to go long, when they're being pressed by teams like they were by the Swedes last night. So it was a big call. She made a big save. She kept a clean sheet. She did what she needed to do. But Sarina, there's no room for sentimentality. She loves the job. She loves what the Lionesses are about. But when those big decisions need to be made, she will always do what is necessary to achieve the result.
Yeah, there's no doubt Mary Earps is a massive player for England, but also you look at the season that she'd had at Manchester United, whereas you look at Hannah Hampton, you know, going to Chelsea was an amazing move for her, and I believe there was 8 clubs or something in for Hannah that summer, and she used to be a striker. You know, she used to be an outfield player when she was really, really young, but to be in goal now, the job that she's doing, hats off to her, considering, bearing in mind Sarina omitted her from the squad. Was that not a year and a half ago? She said, "Go, need to go away, work on yourself." Now she's back, now looking like the number 1. And then hot on their heels of Mary Earps and Hannah Hampton too is the City goalkeeper, Kiara Keaton. So, I mean, in goal, England are looking in a very, very good position.
Absolutely. And all squads want to be competitive. And I think that's what's really, really key for Sarina Weigman moving forward, is having that competition. The WSL looks set to be the most competitive yet. And I think that can only help the national side moving forwards as well. And the more headaches Sarina Weigman has, the better, really. That's what every manager wants going into major tournaments. So fingers crossed this can be a bit of a launch pad for the players, and she can rotate. She can take a look at what she needs to. I think she did that to a certain degree with the Republic of Ireland game. Mm-hmm. And there's always a breakaway star. So plenty of room for players to make their way into the squad as well.
And one of England's big stars, Lucy Bronze, 5-time Champions League winner. She's a Blue. She's gone to Chelsea. It's been announced today.
Yeah, big news. And it was quite interesting. I was watching the back 4 for England last night. I knew it hadn't been announced, but it was heavily rumoured that she was going to make that move to Chelsea. It was kind of like a Chelsea back 4, back 5, forgive me, except for Leah Williamson. And I think that's going to be fantastic for Chelsea, of course, having a player of her calibre who has won everything. Her trophy cabinet is enviable. She's got real class on the ball. She is kind of progressing in her career. She is slightly older now, and actually even yesterday there were a few times when she'd made some really positive runs down the right hand side, maybe giving the ball away, and her legs aren't quite what they used to be, but nevertheless an asset for any team wanting to challenge for the Champions League. And wonderful to see a Lioness return back to the WSL that we have the opportunity to watch week in, week out.
Agree. Charlotte Richardson, thank you very much for coming
Charlotte,
on.
Great stuff.
My pleasure. Good to see you guys.
When are you two back together then, watching your team?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure, but I've got a text in here as well. Shebahn, why haven't you also got your sister on the phone to praise the Irish team? That's from David in Warrington.
She'd just hit decline. Honestly, she'd be like, I'm not answering this phone call. Honestly, she'd probably block me. Charlotte Richardson, TalkSport reporter, thank you very much. You're listening to Shebahn Aherne. It's got Minto on TalkSport with the Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go. Coming up next, we'll discuss the latest from the World Match Play darts and speak to a man who's a quarter-final match coming up tomorrow night. Good afternoon. This is TalkSport.